Good evening, everybody. The Allen fans. It's another episode, another show, and I'm happy to see all my wonderful crew this evening. All the people who make Allen fans possible, and their great commentary that they give you week in and week out. As the fans are pouring in, again, I want to encourage everyone to make sure they like, share, and subscribe these videos. Let everybody know what we're doing over here as we go higher and higher and higher in terms of what we want to do with this great channel. All right, so Island Fans is the place to be if you want to talk sports, EPL, and we have great content coming in the future. How you guys doing this wonderful Monday evening? We just got
Doing
spit
good.
from a hurricane. So.
I'm excellent. I'm excellent.
Oh yeah,
Oh, wow.
definitely. Epic weekend, boy. Football did not
Yep.
disappoint this weekend. And so we're gonna jump right into it and get a good vibe. But let's first go ahead and just remind everybody about what happening in our fantasy world, our fantasy Premier League. We have Netflix and Chilwell still at the top of the fantasy
Yes.
league. He had a great weekend. Nothing much has changed in terms of the top three. We got Suka still holding on to second place, myself in third. Lost some ground there. We picked the wrong captain, Suka. It didn't
Yeah, we
work
did.
out well for us
Yeah.
there. But that's the crazy thing about football. If there's anything I look back on, my gut was telling me go with Antonio, that you want
I
to
had
come back with
I
that
actually
goal.
had it on Antonio before I switched to Ronaldo.
I did as well, and then
Uh, I
I banked on the legend. I didn't
yeah,
come
I
through.
moved. My pick for Ronaldo was done at 5:45 in the morning.
Wow, damn, you got delivered. Crazy, man. That's
I just
crazy,
wanted to throw
crazy.
something out there like so different. I was just thinking, what, let me just second guess myself. Let me do this.
We thought
And
the same thing. I was hoping that you wouldn't do that,
yeah,
and I was gonna say, let me try and catch you with Ronaldo, and yeah, it didn't
yeah,
work
man,
out. It didn't work
yeah.
out, definitely. But all in all, though, Shaq. I know we can get to it much later, man. But I was really counting on Tierney, man, and that clean sheet there, man. I needed that clean sheet points.
Clean
Just
sheet.
I was hoping for it.
Yeah,
He was almost
When you
there,
clean
yeah,
sheet.
but
Me don't tell her son I just go now. I told you.
yeah,
you
son.
did say that. You
Somebody
did
even
say
tried
that.
to play mind games and say put Son in your team, and I bet you they didn't.
Who? I
Not
couldn't
sure.
afford Son in my team. I couldn't afford in my team, man. It just wasn't there. But I wasn't wrong. We see here Arsenal win Derby and Shaq look like a
Sugar,
new
yeah,
person.
Yo, start
man cut
second
down his hair and
man
all,
haircut and
and
so
my
that.
The
submission.
conversation down that shave up, man.
All
What did you
right,
get on?
all
Other things
right.
going on in my life before other than
My,
Arsenal. Anyway, watch out,
my
watch out, what that man did.
Joel is the boy you will shave and so.
Hey,
Your
you
boy
know
will
what?
be sharp tonight
It,
for real.
yeah, it's the freshness. It's the freshness. It's a fresh new start to that. I did tell y'all a couple of weeks back. In the series that we have for Amazon, the nothing part is over. This is
He did say
all
that.
now. This is all
He
new.
did.
All
This
new,
is that.
everything.
Did say that. Did say that. This is gonna
Oh
make a
boy.
great series. I'm looking forward to seeing the whole thing. Just binging the whole thing from the beginning. Speaking of another Arsenal fan,
Oh,
Right,
um,
Josh.
we got we got um another great fan coming in here as well too. What are you doing, Joe? Good evening, Joe. Boy, smile up for your face too, boy. I know
My
the
Good
boy
mood
evening.
today,
Joe.
boy.
My
Those
boy
are the
Joe.
What's happening?
Relegation
well,
Ramsdale.
My boy.
we'll get we'll get right into it.
Goalkeeper.
Well, let's jump right into it. All right. So the best goal of the weekend. What's the best goal
Mhm.
of the weekend? Thoughts on that?
Aston Villa boy.
Okay,
wow.
No,
we got
Wow.
somebody speaking from an emotional perspective. All right.
but to
Wow.
be
Go ahead.
honest,
I'm
I
serious.
didn't find any good goal score this weekend.
Okay.
You can look at the build-up play from the Arsenal goal, the Aubameyang goal, but I don't. I was watching the highlights just now, like what?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Nothing stands out to me. I know Joe will
Yeah,
probably have a
maybe.
different perspective.
Joe, what's your goal of the weekend?
But a couple, because then again, if you the build up is a part of it.
Hmm.
Right.
So I rate that as one of them. The Aubameyang, Smith Rowe, especially how it started from Xhaka, Tierney, Bama Smith with the flick
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful goal from how it started to how it ended. I feel like
Right.
the Marpe chip today was a good goal
The
too.
Mope goal, I
Yeah,
think.
that was a real
Yeah,
good goal.
that
I
was
ain't gonna lie.
yeah.
That was a very
Really?
good
Speaking of Mbappe,
I mean, bro.
That's
speaking.
that's
Go
weird to
ahead.
hear an
Chipping.
Arsenal fan say they like Mope, you know.
No, I don't like
I
Marpe,
know,
but I
right?
appreciate football.
Come on, you
That
over
was,
here saying
and that
wait
was
till
a good
Mbappe
goal.
scores a hat trick. So, I might give him later on. But
Oh,
anyway, go ahead.
yes.
I
And the
see
Jimenez
Jimenez.
goal. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Jimenez
Jimenez.
goal.
Yeah, I'd give
Yeah,
that his
man.
goal of the
Yes.
weekend.
Yeah, when you really think
I
about it,
agree.
definitely. Tony
That's
Okay.
Pulis just
perseverance
All
right there. Mhm.
We have a question here.
yeah.
Why that caption, though? All right. I'm assuming it's the main caption from the beginning. As I'm going to clarify for us, if it's the video caption, I think so we're talking about maybe someone tonight's name. Just clarify for us what you mean by that. All right. Jaleel says here, though, that's a good one too. The Jimenez goal. So
Yeah,
I
for
guess
Jimenez goal. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
guess we'll call it the goal of the
goal.
weekend. All right. What we say is the game of the weekend. What's the game of the weekend?
That's easy.
What the best
Brentford,
game
Liverpool.
overall?
Liverpool, Bradford, yeah.
Brentford,
Liverpool,
Liverpool.
Brentford.
Definitely, that's
Yeah,
easy. That
yeah,
was a crazy
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about Brentford in just a sec. All right. Player of the weekend. Player of the weekend. Who's the player of the weekend? Saka.
No, I had that.
Probably.
Emil
Just
Smith Rowe,
just say
the
Rodri.
best youngster.
David
at Arsenal.
Weah. David.
This one just say
Oh,
Rodri.
I would say David Weah. I
It's
think he
between
was
Smith
splendid.
Rowe and Melier for Leeds because I think if
That's
it wasn't for him, West Ham would have
King
scored
Shao
at least 10.
Cancelo for me.
Ooh, okay.
Cancelo.
A couple shouts. Moy, what about you? Who's your shout?
Cancelo.
Cancelo.
Yo,
He
but
had a good game. He had a
Moise
good
said
game.
Rodri earlier, and that's a
And
good shout.
Rodri.
I thought he was excellent
And
in that game on
Bernardo.
Saturday.
Boy,
Yeah.
that was a
Yeah,
clinic on how to be a defensive
he
midfielder in
was,
that
but
team, boy.
player of the weekend. If Rodri is the player of the weekend,
Mhm.
that means Partey is the player of the weekend. That means Odegaard is the player of the weekend. That
Oh
means
boy.
Yasu is the player of the weekend.
Okay,
So I
justify
mean,
that.
All the Arsenal players.
Yo,
I
yeah, we
mean,
tell you.
and that's
Based on
just
what
Arsenal
criteria?
I'm talking about.
Based on what criteria?
That
I
they
mean,
play for
based on the
Arsenal.
performances, because that's what he's judging Rodri off of the performance. And if we're going off of performances, then
Okay.
Imagine
All
have
right.
a performance like
But
Rodri.
but personally,
Rodri
yeah,
managed to get
yeah,
a clean sheet too. Let's remember that.
Oh boy.
it's a 3-3. The Liverpool Brentford game. That game ended 3-3. But it could have been a
yeah.
lot worse if David Weah wasn't splendid, in my opinion.
Mm.
No, I mean, I for me though, I give Smith. I
Okay.
give Emil.
Okay, we got some shouts for
Yeah.
Smith Rowe. We got one for Party as well too. Yeah, Samson's clarifying the main caption. All right. I guess it's because of the fact that Arteta and Pep both won, and of course Arteta was under Pep for a little while, so Master and the student they both won the weekend. That's what the caption was about.
Yeah.
And Jalil says here, he in line Party was really good. In the derby, he was. He really had NWA Ali and Hoiberg in his pocket. We always knew him coming back would be great for Arsenal. All right, that's good. Team of the weekend. What's your team of the weekend, guys? Who had the best, team performance?
Brentford.
City.
Okay, that's a good shout.
Yeah,
They
I'll
played
give
against
Brentford.
Chelsea. Brentford. That's true. Nobody really expected them. That's a good shout. That's a good
Bro,
shout.
for me, best team performance is between two teams, and that's Brentford and Arsenal.
Oh boy.
Arsenal had 11 players.
I love the
No,
bias.
no,
boy.
but no,
I love it.
it's not even bias.
Mm.
Can you realistically point out one player in the Arsenal squad that had a bad game?
Yeah, but then Joe, to be honest, Arsenal playing on body now.
And they played Liverpool,
I mean, Arsenal playing on
who
body.
was at the top of
Talk
the
about no
At the
body.
same, hey,
You know
at
me
the same
think.
number.
Hold on there, Joe. You know me
At the
think about
same
this
number,
Tottenham
back the
team.
man in the right corner.
You know me talk about. You know me think about this Tottenham team. And I will. You look upon them like Tottenham on no body. Them they no win things.
Shaq's
All them do
confidence
a
is
bang
back.
couple games, bang people get couple wins, and all of a sudden them want mention with the big boys, and then
Yeah,
they
but
earn nothing.
Shaq at the same number, he bang the man in the
Yo,
right corner.
Yeah, but Joe,
Oh boy.
put our joke aside. Tottenham is what we were saying in the group. That we can't step on the show.
No, don't say that. Don't say that.
We ain't sure where Tottenham come from. What is a Tottenham?
What is the chart now? Okay. Munchie says Man City.
Yeah,
Adam
Man
says
City for
Brentford.
me.
Yeah,
Okay,
it has to be Brentford.
okay.
bro.
I'd say Brentford.
Okay.
I would
Yeah.
say Brentford.
Arsenal. I mean, it's a
How
good
does
shout.
Man
Arsenal,
City-
Arsenal played very well, right? They played very well. But the Brentford shout is against Liverpool, who are the top of the league.
Yeah.
And
And
the
they
Man
just got
City one,
promoted.
though,
Man City, I've
True.
never seen, for me, I haven't seen that City team play so collectively in a match in a very long time. And that was that was like that was like the biggest game of the weekend.
yeah, against
Everybody played.
a really
Everybody
good
played.
Chelsea side. A really good
Yes,
Chelsea side
exactly.
as well. Too.
A Chelsea
good
team
shout.
that they have lost in the last 3 games. That's basically the same core team that has been against them for the last 3 games.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
shout.
but you see, is
definitely.
why I don't give it to City, right? While they were very good, why I don't give it to City? No bias, no bias. Why I don't give it to City because after they were very, you can see they were well drilled. They stuck to their game plan. You know, they had control of the game. But after Chelsea conceded that goal and Tuchel made the adjustments and they started going for it, the game opened up for both teams. Chelsea's issue was that they were very poor in the final third. As that game could have ended a lot different. It could have been a draw, or maybe even Chelsea could have still won the game.
But
They
Joe, they
didn't.
didn't have any play in the final third. That's how good City played. They stifled Chelsea from in the
Yeah, they
midfield
stifled
that we
them, that's
couldn't
true.
get the ball going into the final third. So you had to give us. I mean, on the day, I just say that City. I mean, that's just to show you how brilliant they were.
Yeah, fair enough.
Some of the comments from the fans. We see Munchie, first team to make Tooch dead and not get a shot on target since
Wow.
his
Exactly.
arrival.
The disrespect.
I know, right?
Wow.
And Julius says Arsenal was good, but City had a better plan. Media says Arsenal were good. Julius says Arsenal could have easily won that game 5-0. And they only conceded because Xhaka was down. Your thoughts on that? All right. Then we have Mochi here saying Arsenal played versus a team that conceded 3 goals in their previous 2 games. Nothing surprising for him. Asma here making a very good point. He says, listen, we need to stop, not because City is a big team, we're going to downplay their performance. It's the consistency when they play big team. So best team for me this weekend is between City and Brentford. All right. Okay.
I think he does
those
make
two
a good point.
shouts.
Yeah.
I think he does make a good point.
Yeah, considering coming into this game, they'd lost 3 times to Chelsea, and
Yeah.
considering the pressure on them that they needed to win this game and make a statement that, hey, look, we are the champions. They came and they got the 3 points. That's the mark of a great team. You get the 3 points.
And on the road
no
again.
matter what. Yep,
Spot on.
definitely. So let's switch up gears a bit, guys, and get to some more particular topics. Let's switch it over to Memphis, the Man United fan. All right, what's wrong with United? Lots of chances, no goals, and missed the points right at the end. What's wrong?
I think they need some shooting practice because I saw a stat that said they took 55 shots in the last 2 games, and only 10 of those were on target. And if it's the last
stat.
2 games, and I don't think they scored in either of the last 2. So they clearly need some finishing practice. Greenwood, like what I've been saying with Rashford, sometimes they shoot when there's a pass, and I mean, if you don't score, you're gonna get views. So like that one from 8 yards out, we pass it straight to Martinez. That has to be a goal if you don't pass it.
Yeah. Yep. Decision making is
And
going to
another thing,
cost you.
in that game, most of the fans are saying, look at Ali again not making the right sub. I mean, 2 out of the 3 subs were because of injury. Like, you don't just make a 3rd sub right after, because suppose somebody else get injured.
Interesting. Shaq, you going to say something?
Question for the United fans. Is this should we just give this? Do we need to just give this Manchester United team on the holiday, this squad of players? Just give them time. Should we just say They need time. And stop trying to
Mem-
judge Ole right now.
Memphis.
Uh, I say when he gets everybody fit, because I really don't want to believe that when Rashford and so come back, that he's gonna still be playing with Fred and McTominay. At least I hope that, because that's the only thing I'd agree with most United fans with. I'm
Back
tired
up
of the
there,
whole.
Memphis. Sorry. When Rashford comes back, he won't play Fred
I'm saying
and
when
McTominay.
when everybody's fit, like when he has all his options available, I say that's when we can start judging the football and how they play and the results. Because I
Okay.
doubt there'll be the whole Mick Fred drama, because I like the other United fans, I really don't like to see the whole Mick Fred
Yeah,
drama.
nobody
I mean,
likes that.
even when the season started, I don't think he played the two of them. I'm not sure, but what happened? I think he lost against Young Boys, and then every
Yeah,
game since Mick Fred.
yeah, you're right. He's so right. He's right. We see Sharissa is saying good night to you as well. And Jaleel saying here, no
Yo,
Martial to blame.
stats. Yo, if
That's true.
Marshall did what Greenwood did, there'd be World War III going on.
You are right. You're right about that too. All right. We see Jaleel questioning the point from before. If time is really what they need, you know. And then O'Neill is saying here, greatness has arrived. Apparently, it has. All right. So,
Oh.
welcome to you, Jaleel. Definitely. All right. So,
But
a
Josh,
couple
let
other
me
people
just
here saying, yeah. Go ahead, big man. Talk to me.
yeah. I mean, the Ronaldo effect has a big part to play, right? Because I mean, he's coming back in. He's a target man, right? Now,
Mm-hmm.
the guys around him have to kind of learn his style of play. So you got to have to give them time. So I agree with Shaq on that point. You've got to give them some time to be able to fit in. Um, of course, Greenwood probably have to have a better understanding of how Ronaldo plays. Ronaldo likewise with the other team, with the other players around him. So it's gonna take some time. So you're gonna get results like that. A little bit of the inconsistent results in between, but I still think that they have a very good team. It's just to get the pieces together, just really to gel them in properly. It's going to take some time. It's the first season with all the addition of the new players, the Sancho's, Ronaldo coming back, and so on. So it'll take some time.
Good point. Good point. Good point. Shaq, you going to say something?
Right. I don't know if you want to jump to this right now, Josh, but I wanted to get us as a panel view on should Ronaldo have taken that penalty?
He should.
That's a good
I
question.
don't think it. No, Bruno, I
Coco
don't.
says he should.
I
What
heard
do
it
you
was
say,
some
Joe?
drama.
For me, no, because Bruno,
Right.
bro, nobody can tell me that realistically they thought Bruno was going to miss that penalty. He's been
Spot
the
on.
penalty taker.
That's
He's been
true.
Spot
scoring
on.
the penalties.
Spot
Nobody
on.
was complaining. The man missed one penalty, and all of a
Right.
sudden, oh, Ronaldo should
Spot
have taken
on.
the penalty. That makes
I,
What do
zero
you,
sense.
what
I
do you
heard. I
think?
heard some.
Why I
I
think he
heard.
should have taken it is for fantasy points. Come on,
It's
my
true.
team.
True.
That's it.
True. You're very right about that, Joe. But I remember I saw. I don't know how true it is, but I heard that Bruno coming into the penalty had a 93%
With
success rate.
95.
Success rate. Yeah,
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and on
That's
top
true.
of that, something about some drama about how Martinez was telling Ronaldo he need to take it, and then
Yeah.
Ronaldo
You
told
see the video?
Martinez,
no, that's just what
yeah,
Martinez does. He does it to
yeah,
all the
Yeah,
he
penalty
was
mind
taking
games.
trolling,
defenses.
and then
Martinez
Ronaldo
is
was like,
very good
Bruno's
with
gonna
mind
take it.
games.
But I think just before that too, something about how Ronaldo went to take it to something, and
No, no.
then
No.
When
Pulled him back.
Martinez was saying you should take it, Ronaldo
Yeah,
was like, okay, let me take it.
yeah,
yeah.
but
And
then
then
Pogba
Pogba
came
pushed
in
him
and,
in.
Pulled him away.
Right.
and told Bruno to take it. So I mean,
Yeah.
which begs the question. Thank you for bringing that up, because then Samson here has a question here. He's like, hear me out. Looking at how Manchester United players are playing, do y'all think feuds be going on in the background between the players? Remember
Yeah,
the
there's a
question
lot
that
of
with
ego
Ole
at
coming
play.
in between Bruno, Pogba, Cristiano, even Greenwood. You know, because when I saw Greenwood come off the left there, I'm thinking he's gonna square it to Bruno, and he looked up and then he didn't. You know,
Um,
he went for the thing. I'm like, is that decision making or is that selfishness? And is there egos going on behind the scenes that Ollie is not managing?
I wouldn't say that's egos, because from since Greenwood came into the squad, that's what he does. That's what he's been doing. It's not a
Okay, but
first
he finished
time
them.
this has
But he
happened.
finished them.
No, sometimes he don't even finish them, but sometimes he did what he did. But that's something he always does.
But Memphis, you wouldn't think
okay.
that Greenwood, for example, right? Ending last season, he ended last season on a high. He had some really good goals in a few games. I can't remember the stats right now. But you don't think he's trying to? I mean, he's been confident from the end of last season, bring it into this season. Yeah, he didn't have a bad start for the season. So you think would you think it is just you think he's riding on that confidence or something else? Would it be something else?
Well, I kind of, yeah, that he's right in front. He feels that, I have the chance to take a shot. I'm gonna take the shot and score. Just that he didn't score. But I wouldn't say that's an ego or clash behind the scenes.
Well, couple of fans here saying some things, and he says, "I want Ali to get all the time he needs. United won't be serious again." And Jaleel says, "So wait, Lukaku signed for Chelsea. Them they need time."
I mean,
And then he says,
a little
"Grealish signed
birdie
for
told me
City.
that Lukaku
Don't
was
need
bad on the
time."
weekend.
Yeah, well, you see, that's the thing, And Moy made this point before too about the hate that Grealish was getting, and in beginning because he didn't set the world alight, I mean, do players need time? Grealish, Sancho, Lukaku, Ronaldo, do they need time? How much time is enough? A lot of people think differently in that. There's a question here. So, question: why doesn't he kick the penalties for Portugal? Why doesn't he kick the penalties for
Because
Portugal?
Ronaldo's been taking them.
Yeah, that's
Right.
already set. And it's the same thing. Now Ronaldo is coming into a team where it's already set.
Yeah, you wait until the man miss.
Penalty taker. Like I see them saying in the comments talking about, Ronaldo is batting for clutch moments and so on. Boss, the amount of clutch penalties Bruno has scored, the amount of games that man has won yard.
Yo, Joe, I think he's 23 out of 24. You can't talk to me about clutch.
Come on, man.
That's true. O'Neill says here, that's why y'all bought Ronaldo, though. I heard a couple of United fans say this.
Yeah, but
for
Bruno
high
has
pressure
taken
moments.
high pressure penalties before.
And score them. All of them. The man score all of them.
That's why you need Fernandes. I don't understand.
Well, Jaleel disagrees. He says Ronaldo was bought for the clutch moments.
I mean, I don't think they
it
bought
is.
Ronaldo to take penalties. So
That's a good point. Let's change the topic. Let's move over to the Leicester game. The Leicester game was rather interesting. It was 2-2, if I remember correctly. I have a question. Vardy scored 3 goals in this game.
Yes, sir.
Hat trick. All right. Is Vardy back? I mean, he scored his first hat trick for the season. A lot of rest. Is Vardy back?
He never left.
Never left. Yeah, man.
Did we fall asleep on Vardy then?
Yeah, everybody fell asleep on Vardy because of Iheanacho.
That's what I was gonna say. Iheanacho had some good form coming to the end of the season.
I think Iheanacho had the assist for his second goal.
But guys, are we forgetting how old Vardy is? I mean, going like Vardy's 27. He's not 27. Right?
How old is he?
How much more can Vardy do this at this level, considering his game is predicated on running in behind the space and finishing? How long can he do this for?
Bro, Vardy age is like a fine wine, bro.
He's 34.
Man, he gets better with age.
Look, I think he's in a system too that caters for his style of play or his strengths, I should say. He gets the ball and he knows exactly what he's doing. Vardy's not looking to take you on, dribble, drop his shoulder here, drop his shoulder there.
Yeah.
He's direct. Give me the ball, I'm running to goal, boom, I'm shooting. And he's accurate.
And he still has good pace. And he still has good pace to run in behind the defense still.
That's fact. Because if you check it out, right, mid-game you'll watch Vardy, and in the blink of an eye, Vardy will just be in the midfield standing up casually. And in the blink of an eye, he's behind the defender with the ball being played over the top.
So is that more, Joe, is that more football IQ than actual skill? Would you say? That he knows where to be?
I'd say it's a bit of both because you still have to time those runs and everything. And for me, I'd say it's a combination.
And I would even add,
really say it's one more than the other.
And I would even add here, Joe, his fitness level too. Because he has to he has the willingness to keep running, to keep making those runs. Because the ball's not gonna come every time.
No. And I didn't plan to say this. or ask this really, but it just popped in my head. When you think about Ivan Toney and you think about, Jamie Vardy, strikers that have played throughout the various leagues, would you then say that there are championship strikers? I'm going to talk about championship strikers are grossly underrated in terms of, in terms of their ability. Talking about strikers specifically, or maybe just players in general. I'll go that far as to say that I saw a stat the other day that said that the championship actually makes more money than some of the other leagues in the world.
I wouldn't say grossly underrated,
Right. Yeah.
because some do come up and flop.
That's fine.
Okay.
Well,
And
most
some
actually.
transition. Right. Ali
People like
Watkins.
Ivan Toney, Vardy,
Ali
Watkins,
Watkins.
and so those people are gems out of the bunch for me.
But most of them don't do well, as you're saying.
Yeah, most of them when they do come up to the bigger leagues, they don't do well.
Right, look at Pookie.
What about what's his name? Who just scored in the Carabao Cup? I think it was. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Charlie QPR.
Charlie Austin.
Charlie Austin.
Charlie Austin. Yeah, when Charlie Austin was in the league, man.
Yo,
Yeah, Charlie Austin was
His issue was injuries, though.
Right.
Yes.
Right, Memphis.
Because I was thinking about those type of strikers that they're not Lewandowski, they're not Zlatan. They just get goals. I mean, just like this dude, man. No, man, they just get goals.
Where in the Premier League again? Which club again he used to play for?
So
It was
QPR.
Southampton.
Yeah, and he had a stint in Southampton as well.
Yeah, he did. I think he went back to QPR, didn't he? That's where he went.
Right,
He was
back there
QPR,
now.
so-
Yeah, back
he
then.
went
now,
back.
yeah.
Speaking of championship teams that came up, what's so special about Brentford, guys? I mean, everybody coming to this game with Liverpool basically saying, hey, look, not everybody. There's some people saying, hey, look, right, Liverpool are Liverpool, but this is not going to be an easy game. And time after time, Brentford keep proving that they're here to stay. I mean, what can we say about this team, really? Can they sustain this?
Well, I would jump and I'd say the finishing need work. They need to work on the finishing. I think that they create more chances than they score. Most teams, but when you watch them play, they get more chances and they're not very clinical. But what I think is special about them is the way in which the manager has them playing.
Yeah.
They have a set system in play now that they're used to, and they know what they're doing. They know what the game plan is, and they just execute.
So this is based on what Shaq is saying, guys. Would you say then that Brentford's success, because of the level of their players, that is attributed mostly to the coach, his tactics, than the actual team itself?
For me, it's a bit of both because you have the system. Yeah, I agree. But let me tell you what Brentford has that a lot of teams in the Premier League doesn't have. Brentford has 11 players on the pitch. Well, let's take out the goalkeeper because he in the goal, he in the outfield. But that good is a very good goalkeeper as well. But they have 10 outfield players on the pitch that are going to give you physical bully ball for 90 minutes. A lot of these footballers in the league are cute. Brentford know with that. You're not seeing all these fancy flicks and all of that. They play according to their system. They pass the ball around. You're not going to get a ball past them, and like sometimes you see in other teams, the players just stand up and watch you. They're going to chuck all the way back. They defend as a team, and they play very physical.
Yes, Joe, talking from experience.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Facts.
All right. Per that point there, would you say, guys, that Brighton 1-1 today with Crystal Palace? I think it was Zaha scored a penalty at the 45th minute, and then late boy Maupay end up scoring his goal. He's been doing very well for them. I think he has 4 goals for the season. I think he does in the Prem. I think so. Yeah. Are Brighton the new Leicester? That's my question. Are Brighton the new Leicester?
No.
That question.
Nobody want to do it. Nobody want to take a stab out there and say yes.
No, West Ham are the new Leicester.
West Ham are the new Leicester. Okay. What y'all think? West Ham, Brighton?
So, Josh, slow there. So, Memphis, you're saying that West Ham is capable of winning the league.
Not
Because that's
capable
what
with
the
the
left.
league, but
That's what the
capable of
Leicester is.
challenging for the
Right,
top
Josh?
4.
Okay, that's Josh. Yeah, that's what are you asking? Capable
That's
win the
my boy.
league or breaking
Both.
into the top 4?
Both. I'm actually saying both because I refuse to accept that what happens. I'm a purist, right? I refuse to accept what happened with Leicester was just luck. Okay,
I
I
mean, it
don't
kind
think
of
it
was.
was luck. I'm
It
not gonna
was.
say that.
It
Football is
was.
too beautiful for that, and I'm gonna say that if Brighton keep playing at the level that they're playing. We just said earlier on that good teams find a way to win or get points, so I get the result, and Brighton got the result in this game. You can say it's just Crystal Palace, but they got the result, and they've been doing it so far this season. Can they keep this up? Week after week, we expect them to get a 3-0 and a 4-0, and it not happen yet.
I'd say they
They
have to
played in the Big
play a
Six,
big
yeah?
team. They haven't played anybody yet.
But
That
they're a
makes
little
sense.
team,
Yeah,
though.
They're gonna play
Are they a
Arsenal
little
next
team?
week.
Look at team again, Tuka.
They're playing them Arsenal next week. Arsenal is a big team.
No, the
That's
little
gonna be a
team,
good game.
Tuka.
Yo, I
That's
was
gonna be a
resisting the urge to say anything.
Look, Arsenal win
Yeah,
4
Arsenal
games
next
in the
week.
trot now, and now 5 now. If you think about the other one, see, let me see. Let me see some of the comments. Some people say here, there. They say still got Brentford to go down.
Oh, wow.
All right. Boss, I get Munchie off the show. He just unbalanced the thing. Okay, no, we love Munchie around here. We can't do that to Munchie.
Yeah, you kind of do.
Right.
Look
But
at
it's gonna
yourself,
come
Josh.
balance if results went his way over the weekend.
Ooh, okay.
That's
All
one
right.
thing.
We have Asma here saying, "Nah, I give them they're on a high. I give them until January." Okay. People said the same thing about Leicester. I give them until January. Go ahead. All right. So
Brighton,
Brentford,
Josh, for real?
I don't. But people said the same thing about Leicester.
Yeah,
Y'all,
people
y'all
kept
need to
waiting for
forget.
that bubble to burst.
They were
People kept
waiting for
waiting for
it to
that bubble
burst,
to burst.
and it didn't burst. It
I
just
mean,
didn't
to
burst.
be fair, it was supposed to burst, but Spurs choked it.
Oh, come on. Give them people that credit, man. Brentford is the new Sheffield. That's a good shout there, O'Neal. Sheffield had a good season that
Very
season
good
too.
season when they started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
yep. Injury is gonna be Brentford downfall. This is the EPL. How long do you think they can continue playing like that? All right. It says Leicester got top 4 once. Okay. All right. And we see here West Ham fans. Nah, the teams in front too good. All right. And it says the crazy boy Pierre lit brother top coaches all around. All right. And we saying a good evening as well. Good evening to you. And he's saying here Spurs choke it. Arsenal beat Leicester twice. Stop it. Arsenal choked it. Interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, we end up passing them on the last day.
Spurs was second for most of the
Yeah.
season.
Look,
Yeah,
but here
and
what?
then
To be honest, I believe Arsenal choke it too because them two teams are not supposed to in front of we.
I think so too. They were the best of the three.
It was a
They're
best
supposed
chance.
to. That
we
was their
battled
year.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
our best chance in maybe the last decade to win the league.
But since we're on the Arsenal topic, Arsenal won their game 3-1. 3-1 to Tottenham. It was 3-0 at halftime. Are Arsenal back? Are Arsenal back? Officially back now. You've won what? 4 games in the Prem straight, include the Carabao Cup game.
3 games.
Can we? Three games in the Prem, yeah. 3 games in the Carabao Cup game.
Carabao Cup. Yeah.
I mean, is the process fully underway?
You can
If
go
you
ahead,
take
Joe.
in consideration, if we take in consideration that you have an absence of European football, that distraction is out the way.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
they've got some really good fixtures. Start picking up some serious points now, and then start making
I
that
did
climb.
say so now. I did say go back and check the film, man. I said their fixtures coming up looking real good after the first 3 games.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, what you say, Joe? We full. Can you confidently say now? You said they're gonna judge Arteta after the first 10.
Yeah,
All right.
after the first 10. I agree with
Yeah.
Sukwa, with what he said, and then the fixtures are looking better now. Remember the last show I told y'all that while Nuno needed the game for me, Arteta needed it just as much because you beat Norwich, you
Right.
won those games and then you won your Carabao Cup game. But this game for me is where it would turn around. And I feel like is where Arteta, for the first time in a long while, has maybe not all, but most of the fans and everyone on his side. And then when you really think about it too, he has been saying for quite a while that judge him. They said judge him at the end of the window and judge him when he has his players playing. And he played his players. He had a healthy Thomas Partey. He had his Martin Odegaard and all of that. And he played his team how he wanted his lineup. He had his right back and everything. And it was a beautiful performance. And even before that, think about the games prior, even against Norwich and so on, those games where we had we had 30 shots and we scored one goal and these kind of things. The chances were being created. We just weren't finishing them. It's not the first time. One of the first things I said to Shaq about the game, I said, yo, this is not the first time we've seen performances like this. The only difference is that we actually finished the chances this game. We were clinical. That's the main difference because we've seen them play like this before.
Joe,
Shaq,
let me
if you
ask
could.
you.
Okay, I was just gonna ask you a question, Shaq. If you could encapsulize one main thing, Joe talked about the clinical finishing was necessary for you. What's the one main thing that kind of said this is why we won?
Well, probably this is why I was going to ask Joe too. I put it down to Arteta. And he did say, and Joe cited it, wait till he gets his players. And he picked his players, he picked the team, because everybody, when you watch Twitter, you go to Twitter, you look at it, everybody didn't want Shaka to start. But this is why he put his faith in Shaka, because Shaka is another creator in that team when on the left side. He allows Tierney to push on. And for me, Arteta got everything right yesterday. Team selection, tactically, because we won 2 games in a row playing the 4-3-3. He could have gone with that again. He opted back to go back to his double pivot, and we saw the problems he caused there. For me, we wanted Saka back on the right. Joe and I spoke about, since the last show, we were speaking about who should start up top. Saka on the right is what we kept saying. Saka on the right, Smith Rowe, and I was saying, play Smith Rowe. We were saying to play Laka. In fairness, we were saying to play Laka.
We were both saying to play
because Laka is a big game striker, and he played Aubameyang, and everyone who he picked. Credit to the manager, in my opinion.
But then, Shaq, what was the first thing I said to you? I said to you, if you check it out, the past 2 games, Aubameyang has played like a Lacazette. Aubameyang has played the complete centre forward role. Aubameyang is winning headers. Aubameyang is
You're right.
Holding up the ball successfully. That little where he got the ball, flicked it on to Smith Rowe, and then ran off. That's what you see Lacazette.
That's a Laka pass. Yeah, you're right, bro.
We're gonna talk about big game strikers in just a minute. All right, fans. So you're gonna hear a lot more about that. We have O'Neal here continuing to troll.
Okay, go ahead.
Don't gas them up, all right? And Jaleel says Arsenal gonna Arsenal. Don't worry, guys. Arsenal a lose weekend. Too much hype. Xhaka red card weekend. Murder boy. All right. Basuma injured day. Might get a result. That's true. Ironically, Basuma injured about people at Arsenal. All right. And Memphis, I hear all about you disappointed, bro. And then we have Obama. Who? Obama what? And last time we finished that. We will not do that tonight. All right. We won't do that tonight. All right. So we got a couple people here. We got I was saying something interesting. He says, "What a performance we didn't expect. Take nothing away from Arsenal, but Tottenham didn't play anything. It's not so that Arsenal was good, but more that Tottenham was bad. Some would say that Tottenham was just really bad.
Just stop right there. Just stop right there, John. Just stop right there. Asma, I will triple this you love a chat also.
People are saying that. People are saying that though. People are saying that. I don't say that.
How about we make them look poor? Go ahead.
Okay. Because the press is what forced Tottenham into a lot of their mistakes. The constant pressing.
Forcing them to go long.
And then Tottenham haven't really the first 3 games the first 3 games, I mean, they won what it was like 1-0
1-0, all of them.
outside, right?
And
then
he
they
didn't
came up
play very
against
well.
Chelsea. They came up against Chelsea, a game that probably could have finished about 5. They came up against Arsenal. They started to get, and I mean, Crystal Palace gave them what 3-0. That really started
Yeah.
everything. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
He says here,
that's what I was
Empire,
gonna
guys,
say.
for international fans though, Empire is a local football team in Antigua. They wouldn't know who Empire is. So Empire could bang Spurs Sunday just poor. Go ahead, Munchie. Jump in, Munchie.
Yeah. So that's the point. Okay, taking nothing away from Arsenal's performance. Like, they were running Tottenham riot. Kudos to that. Nothing wrong with that. I respect that. Yes. But you can actually see where Asma is coming from, and maybe the rest of the fans. Like, look at Spurs' last 2 games. They lost 3-0.
Yeah,
So-
that makes sense.
Coming into this game, you can even say they did better. At least they scored a goal this time. So, basically, it was like Spurs were actually bad on the day per se, because like they lost 3-0 to Chelsea, 3-0 to Crystal Palace, 3-0 to Crystal Palace, and lost 3-1 to Arsenal. So it's like, as I said in the group, like, it's nothing surprising. Like, everybody expected, Arsenal to beat Spurs, because like Spurs isn't where they are, like the fan, not the fans, the
Yeah,
players.
but Nuno won manager of the month. You won manager of the month of August.
Without
Indeed.
Kane.
With the
Without
first
Kane.
win against who?
Yeah, well, yeah, you see? And then
Kane
we'll
is a
people say
problem.
Kane's
No,
the-
Monty,
we'll get to Kane in a
Monty-
second.
Monty, you
Good
really
shot.
have an agenda, you know. You really and truly
No,
have
it's
an
not a
agenda.
Shot.
No,
That's why
Monty, because
I
it's plain and
started off by
simple.
saying,
No. I
taking
listen to
away
you.
nothing
I listen
from
to you.
Arsenal.
I listen to you, bro.
That's true.
I listen
Look
to
at
you.
my talk, Munchie.
So let me
Look at my
speak
talk,
now.
Munchie.
It's plain and simple. We outplayed them. We caused them to we forced them into all those mistakes. Them playing long wasn't a part of their game plan. The press forced them to kick the ball long, which we intercepted. Our first goal was down to that. They kicked the ball long. Ben White won his aerial duel. Ball went to Odegaard right in the hole, progressed it to Saka, and then what? We named Smith Rowe coming off of the left, coming into that number 10 position. He scored a goal. Don't come tell me about Tottenham. This Tottenham was bad. Don't tell me that this Tottenham this and this Tottenham that. But make them look like nothing, like the nothing that they are, and that's what it is. Sorry for shouting.
You take
No,
your
yeah,
ear
Alan
dog.
I am very
Boy,
passionate, right?
Arsenal fans
Man
really
passionate,
gassed
the man
up, boy.
passionate.
Me tell you.
No, I'm not gas. No, I'm not gas. I was cool all the time. In our analysis, Joe and I, we were cool. But then you will come and you're trying to deflect from our performance. No, I can't sit here and allow that.
I never deflect from you guys before. As I said, as I began my statement saying, taking not away from Arsenal. Yes, Arsenal.
Yes,
ran
but
them
then
right.
you go on. You
I'm
went
saying-
on to take
I'm
things away from
saying-
Arsenal by
You
saying
did,
that
you
this
did,
Arsenal,
you did.
that this Tottenham
I'm
team
saying,
poor.
you can see the reason why Asma made that statement. That's why I'm saying.
And
So
I'm
I'm trying
saying
to
I
say
can't.
that's the
I
reason why
can't.
Asma made that statement.
But how?
Okay.
How? That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to gather now. Because again, if we did not play the way we played, and we weren't quicker than them, we weren't more aggressive than them, and we didn't have the constant pressing, they would have had a lot more time on the ball. So
To create
again,
more
it all
chances.
comes down to the way we played. The pressing forced them into the mistakes, and again, that whole Arteta going back to the double pivot to deal with Højbjerg and Ndombele in the midfield. Again, another smart tactical decisions. O'Neil can tell anybody when they spoke about the lineup. A friend of ours was saying that like he was disappointed that Xhaka was back in the midfield, and I said, "Yo, it's the right call. As much as we'd like to see the party and Lukanga, you don't play against a team like Spurs based on the fact that they have midfielders who can play that grimy style of football with
True.
one pivot. You need the double pivot. And if you're going to go for the double pivot, you use Xhaka because Xhaka is more experienced, right? And Xhaka is a player that is more made for that grimy style of play.
Yeah.
Lukanga looks good, but we don't know if
Been in the derby before.
for 90 minutes.
That's true. Even I saw something with Lukango. He was talking about how he was completely thrown off by the pace and the power of the Premier League when he came in, and even he said that they cross from everywhere. He's not used to this. He's obviously a great player, but he needs some time. O'Neal says here, Shaq and Drew remind me of the Never brothers when in town.
Oh,
I never
explain that one.
I never thought about it until it's so sense now.
How that work? Explain that one. Over
I mean, I guess it's just, y'all in tandem when y'all speak about the Arsenal. When y'all ready to be passionate.
We
Bro,
speak a lot, man. That's it.
That's why y'all on the same wavelength. That's what I think that's his point. There are a lot of people here seeing some things here, but we really got to switch to another topic that I think is important, and it's still on the same Arsenal Tottenham issue. Y'all were talking about before about strikers and about how Aubameyang played so well in that game. But then I have a question here, guys: is Kane dead, and will he return?
Josh, let me just read out because I was gonna address this. Sorry there, guys. Let me just read out. This is his number so far for the season. In 381 minutes, he has 0 goals, 0 assists, 6 shots in 5 games, 4 key passes, and his heat map is everywhere but in the opposition box. That's this season's Harry Kane.
That's my question. I didn't even know that stats. I'm just looking based upon what we're hearing, articles we're reading. Is Kane dead? I mean, I know we have a bad August, but he's had a lot. I mean, could it be the whole Man City thing? What's going on? Could it be Nuno's system? What's going on with Kane?
I wouldn't say it's Nuno's system because they were performing before he came in. What I would say is that he's probably distracted because lost the Euros. Didn't get his move to City, so he's probably not there mentally in terms of football. So what I'd say is he probably needs some time on the bench.
That seems to be the theme tonight. A lot of people need time.
Time on the bench, not time. Time on the bench.
On the bench.
Yeah, I think Kane is down. Kane's down his tools.
I think you should bench him. Some would say have him play through it, because I know Fergie used to do that with Rooney when Rooney was in a bad patch of form. He just play him more. He played 90 minutes for everything. Carabao, FA Cup, Premier League. That's true. All right. Julius says here, Harry Kane is downing tools on purpose. He also says here, nobody rejects 150 mil plus B Silva.
Josh, I was saying, right? I mean, he looks disinterested, right? That's one thing.
He does.
He doesn't look interested right now. And I think you can see that. I think it was the second goal he gave the ball away. The first goal, right? First goal. But okay, so you're looking at it right now. What is the alternative you can think if you have to bench Harry Kane? You'd have to go with the pace up top. So as I was saying, Spurs have the options. I have always seen Lucas Moura. Bergwijn was not fit for this game, but when he's fit, you have pace going up front, and Son can lead the line in Kane's absence. We've seen that how many times. So I'm just saying that probably Nuno is on a streak right now where if Spurs fall too far behind, his neck would be on the chopping block. I believe his job will be in he'll be in some hot water. So I'm just thinking of what are the possibilities or what are the alternatives if Harry Kane has to be benched, right? You're gonna have to bench him, and then you use your other attacking options. I think the attack would be a lot more fluid going forward.
When you
said something here, I was thinking though. Shaq, saying that if Nuno get bench, I think he meant Kane, bench Kane, getting sacked on the bench. It's a tough decision. Maybe y'all can help me.
I'm thinking that the fans won't even be upset with Nuno because I think they can see it now too. That Kane is not the Kane that they all wanted, wish for him to stay.
But it's Kane. It's Kane.
Yeah, but then like I think Joe Memphis said it. We won 3 games on the trot without him. Came back, and even though they were 1-0 wins, they were still wins. They came back now, and we're supposed to score more goals, and we just keep getting no more. They get 3-0 all the time. Just concede 3 all the time.
But then guys, that's what I'm about to say, Memphis. That could you then not blame Nuno for having Kane be and Nuno fought Kane to play CDM?
I
Is it
wouldn't say
Yeah,
that.
Nuno's fault?
he puts up with it.
This is the
So
Because
first game
Kane was
we
dropping
found out.
deep and still scoring goals and assists on the Mourinho. So I wouldn't
Yeah.
I
say
think that
there you
no,
go.
but
The
I don't think he
remember
was
we had
dropping
this
this
conversation.
deep.
The system under Mourinho was more suited for that. That entire system was built around Harry Kane. This is different under Nuno. It's not the same. You can see it. It's not the same. Because under Mourinho, Harry Kane drops back, comes into the midfield, but then he has the runners, right? He has the
But
runners. He jumps because remember his main thing is to hold up the ball. He distribute the ball, get it off. He has his runners. He make a run. He get the ball back.
Mhm.
Mourinho's
Okay.
system, you could see, was built. Harry Kane was the brain of that system. It's not the
Kane has
same.
had 4 key passes.
And this is the first. If you really check it out, this is the first game under Nuno that he has played Harry Kane in the traditional setup, which in Kane down the middle, Son on the left, out on the left on the wing, because they basically lined up with a 4-3-3.
Mm.
I think yeah.
Yeah, they lined up with
Yeah.
the 4-3-3. The games before that, Harry Kane was basically playing centre mid.
Mm.
If you really check it out, all the games before that, Harry Kane was playing centre mid.
So well, something has to change soon, and he has to figure it out
He
because if
doesn't.
not, yeah.
But in Nuno's
doesn't.
defense, you have to remember he's like Spurs' 4th choice manager. So
True, that's a good point. That's a really good point. Let's switch it up. Last topic, guys. Moy, talking to you now. How did Pep beat Tuchel? Was it luck or was it tactics? Was it luck or was it tactical? We're talking big strike. We're talking Harry Kane. The same striker that you guys were going to buy didn't go through. But then you end up now in a situation where in one of the biggest games so far for the season, the guy who is your striker, who nobody expected to do what he did it on the biggest stage. Luck or tactics?
Yeah, all my say is luck because of how we all was going on. Like Chelsea was going to beat City, and I'm going to start that way. And I don't know why y'all was thinking that. I don't know if y'all have some chip in your head that was going off, but that was going to happen. It was absolutely a Pep masterclass in all caps. Nobody can change that. I mean, looking at the game, I'm very proud of City. The everyone worked very well. We talked about this, like
Hard
lead
work,
teams,
bro.
how Bielsa have them running. I mean, it almost looked like Pep called up Bielsa and was like, okay, how do you get these players to run like
Yeah,
that? Because
yeah,
Bernardo was
yeah.
running,
Mhm.
all these players were tracking back. Rodri was right there to cut up all the passes. I pointed that out. As long as he has a good game, I'm confident he can win any game because he's very important. And once again, Ruben Diaz has another big name player in his back pocket. So he's very expensive.
Moy, I'm gonna ask you one more question, and then once you can respond to this too. I look at the comments, and we see Alpe saying they press out the bridge. I Pep got it right. He's saying that the players were really up for it. Here we see some people saying they wanted it more. I was thinking the same thing too. When you mentioned Bielsa, that's the first thing that came to my mind. That when I was looking at the first half of the game and seeing the highlights, y'all look like Leeds. The way y'all were running and the pressing, I was like, could it be that coming off of 3 straight losses to Tuchel, and especially the hurt of the Champions League, the players came into this game with a greater desire. Look, right, we're gonna win this game. We have to win this game. And then that emotional part of it push you to do extra running. Could it be that? Or was it just literally just typical Man City performance? Or was something special about this?
I mean, you would say it could be both of the best of both worlds because we know when you play in any team, they constantly getting the results over you. When you play them again, you're gonna want to the back of my mind. I cannot lose to this team again. We have to show up and perform, especially when it's City versus Chelsea and it's a very big game. So I think the players were very behind of it. I think I saw
Yeah.
Rodri made some comments recently after the press conference they had today. that he was saying it was almost like a championship game. It's still early
Uh,
in the season, but the
Yeah.
atmosphere was like a championship game. You had to go in there and win it because you know the pressure of the game, and the boys went out there and they delivered.
Munchie.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say it's let's say like getting tactics from Bielsa or anything. It's just typical City because I know if you guys can remember when we beat Liverpool last season for the first time at Anfield,
Disclaimer, nobody
it was
said that.
basically the same thing. Bernardo was running riot, like every single blade of grass had Bernardo's footprint on it, right? So that's the City, like the whole world know and expect. That's the City that always comes out in these kind of games. You know, when it really
Oh,
matters.
in these kind of games, because I was about to say that to you that I don't think we've, even in your 5-0 wins and even in the 0-0 draw, I don't really think anybody's seen the City from that
That's what I'm saying.
weekend.
In these kind
Right.
of games, yeah, that's why I made emphasis on these kind of games. You know, because being a team like City, like
But when, you know what, I'm sorry to
This-
cut you off, brother. I'm sorry to cut you off, but when? Not this season. Because, I mean,
What?
look at last season in the big games. I mean, I don't I don't think I've seen this level of pressing then. I mean,
Never.
when you've lost
No.
some, to me, I swear you could have had on the white leads, and I swear it'd have been a different team. I mean, it felt like there was a different level of tactics to this game than ever before. But you're saying that this is typical City.
Would
It's not.
Munchie say
is.
otherwise?
It's not. It's not
No, that's what I'm
typical
saying.
City.
It is right, but as I say, as Moy says, like the as Moy said that what he said, it was like a championship game, and you know when you're playing for a championship game, it's one gang. There's no extra time.
What?
There's no second leg or anything. So that just gave it the little edge. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's the point I made. Like supporting a team like City is very good. Fans and whoever watching it because City has many gears, many gears. City doesn't have this is where we're gonna stay or this is where we play. In an instant, City can go up to gear 50 and just come back down to gear 2 and still make gear 2 look like gear 50. So yesterday, Saturday was just like that. And I heard when Joe made a point to say like after Chelsea equalized, after Chelsea conceded, the game opened up a little more, and Chelsea like got back into the game. It wasn't a mere fact of that because the stats remain the same. They didn't get a shot on target. It's just that we now kind of like saying, hey, let's try and see if we can like catch them out. Try to get a second goal. Because look at how much counters we got that could have scored. The Grealish one. We tried to L1 and O Mendy. You know? He could have just, finished that and make Phil Foden get his assist.
Xbox people,
You know? The Cancelo chance.
Yeah.
When Gabriel Jesus nearly scored and Thiago Silva.
Thiago
these
Silva
are
clear
all
off
the-
the line.
Yeah, all these are counters,
Mhm.
and that literally
they-
played right into our hands. We didn't get
Um,
those chances first half. Look at it. Honestly, we
Yeah,
didn't get
because,
those
because,
kind of clear
because
chances
Chelsea
first
didn't
half.
have Chelsea didn't have a choice but to come out because the reality of it, no, the minute you go down, no, whether you concede 1 or 5 goals, you still
Yeah.
lose, no. So
Especially
you
at
have
Yeah.
to come out and do something. But what I'm saying, what
especially at
my
home, you have to
point
come
was,
out.
sometimes you look too much on stats by the eye test. If you were watching the game when Chelsea began to come out and start playing this, sit back. Which at the same time too, you can give City the credit and say that our arse helping to force them back because they couldn't win anything in the midfield. They were struggling.
Yes.
The best thing
Yeah.
that happened from a midfielder was Kante dropping Cancelo. The best thing that happened from a midfielder was Kante's body feint. That was the best thing in terms of from Chelsea. That was the best thing. But at the same time, we can also say that they got out more, but we can also say that they play in the final third. While it was because City were pressing and they were on you constantly. We can also say that some of it is also down to poor decision making in the final third from Chelsea players. But then again, it's based on the fact that they didn't have that much time on the ball.
Good morning. Let's get
There
Moyen
were a
quick.
lot of times they got down the flank and Lukaku in the boxes scream for the cross. They don't pass the ball.
Yeah, let's get Moyen, and then we're gonna go to the comments.
Yeah, just a final word on the game. You know, I've been commending City, you know, and I really expected Chelsea. I didn't expect them to sit back like that. I expect them, you know, to take it after us after a while, which they came back out in the second half. Tuchel made a couple
That's
changes
okay.
and they tried to do. And the games had some worrying points after a while when Lukaku started pinning down Laporte like once or twice and starting getting to Laporte. And especially after Laporte picked up that yellow and they still attacked him, you know. It kind of got there. They got away with one where, you know, the goal, it was an offside goal. But Chelsea tried to think Man City held it for a while. But, you know, Chelsea came out and tried to do what they tried to do. But at the end, it wasn't all that much. So, you know, it wasn't a
Well,
clear
And the
way for
boys have
City for the whole
scarlet.
game.
based on what you just said there, it makes me think because Asma says here, Tuchel is one of the worst German manager I've seen, bro. Which means which German manager you know plays defensive like he does. With the team he has, City should have been given a better fight. Disagree or agree?
Have a few.
Disagree.
He qualifies it. He qualifies it. He says it's big teams, you know, against big games. He's talking about down here.
No, yes, I was gonna. Yeah, you're right. Thank you, Shaq. All right. And the thing about it is that based on what he said, and based on what you guys said, it makes me think that could it be possible that Tuchel's game plan coming in was that, yo, the man vex now, I bang them in the Champions League. Okay, let's sit back, let's contain, and work our way into the game, right? Because let's be fair, guys. The goal, I think y'all were arguing about this privately, but the goal wasn't the most spectacular goal. And even though y'all created a lot of chances, it still was only 1-0. It wasn't 4, it wasn't 5. So, with that being said, there, Chelsea still were in the game. It could have been one penalty, one moment of one mistake, and it could have been 1-1, 2-1. We've seen that happen before, you know. So, could it be a scenario where Tuchel just got it wrong? He got it wrong because you're saying the first 3 times he just got it all flukes. Did he just get it wrong? Go ahead, Moy.
I mean, looking at it, a draw or win, it would have been suited to Tuchel. You know, Chelsea's a team that on top. Man City trying to go in to win this game to, you know, try to be up there, not take the gap too far from these other big teams. And I think that's what he tried to do. He tried to play for at least a draw and see if he could get it on the counter with Werner and try to nick one. And then we know how, you know, City would open up more. But, you know, the goal got an unfortunate goal. And that's how it is. He looks bad now. You know, he could have gone next way. We praised Tuchel for that, but he lost. So that's why we're blaming him now. That's just how it is.
Let me just say this to Munchie. How you can answer this, Munchie. You look at the actual goal, and it wasn't like if Pep drew up that play. I'm sorry, I just don't see how that scenario was envisioned in the tactical board. That even when he envisioned, if he say he did, there were 3 Chelsea defenders there, and didn't it take a deflection? I think it took a deflection, didn't it? You knock off for somebody and go in the goal. You didn't draw up that play. Say, okay, no, Gabriel, you go there, you take it.
You didn't break down Chelsea.
You didn't break down Chelsea. You 1 goal, you score. I mean, you win the game, 3 points. Big ups to you. I'm just making the point that, I mean, Chelsea was still very much in it. They were there. They were in it. You know, and so big ups to Pep for getting it right, and maybe Tuchel just barely got it wrong this time.
Okay, you want me to answer that now?
Go ahead, Munchie.
With that being said, before you made that statement, I was gonna ask you guys, like, are you guys like taking away Gabriel Jesus' goal per se? Like that's what you call a striker's goal, because this guy's back was turned to the goal. He managed to make space for himself, and he took a shot on the half turn. Although it was a deflection, but yet still, the way in which he made that space for himself, you gotta credit him. Because if that was a Aguero, nobody would have said, "Oh, it was a deflection." The first thing I say, "Oh, Look how his back was to goal and he get that little inch of a yard of space for himself to get out that shot. No, come on, man. You got to give credit where credit is due, right?
No.
And Josh, when you're saying like you didn't see Pep like envision that play, as a manager, you have a style of play, yes. You don't know how the next team is going to play. Pep can't say, oh, Rudiger is going to stand 3 yards outside the 18-yard box. So, Walker, you go 4 yards out by the touchline, and then De Bruyne, you pass it at 30 miles per hour pace. No. There's a play, and you go out and you do what the manager says, and that's where individual brilliance comes into play within the manager's play. So that's what happened.
So you're telling me that you said something powerful there. I don't know if you understand. Wait. No, I wanna just make sure I hold on to what you just said there. All right. You said wait, yeah, I gotta say that again because I'm trying to wrap my mind around that. They were
More turn off your camera.
there was individual brilliance in the manager's tactics. Which is it? Because I know Memphis would jump in. No, bro. Wait, what did you just say? Because you said something about individual brilliance and the manager.
I said the manager has a play, and that's when a manager has a play that's going to be played by the players, and individual brilliance comes into play within the manager's play.
I understand.
Individuals come into play with the manager's play. So City why is it then
City play tiki-taka? So you try to tell me all the time City must pass the ball straight into the 6-yard box and get a neat finish. When a Guevara scores these outrageous goals, that's what you call individual brilliance.
No, but I'm saying that
I understand what you're saying.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But the reason why I jump on that is because there are some who would say, like in the case with some United fans, that they're saying that Ole does not do any tactics, that he relies solely on individual brilliance. So why can't it be the same for him? That according to his plan, he relies on individual brilliance. How is this any different?
Because Ole is a PE teacher and Pep is a manager.
Okay. Because of what he's
But
done.
could you really say? Could you really say that his goal is individual brilliance?
Okay.
He created the yard of space, rightfully so.
Back and forth.
But individual brilliance for the finish, the finish wasn't brilliant.
Because let me say a piece here. If you look at the goal, Cancelo did his stuff to get away. The ball came flashing. Gabriel Jesus did what he had to do to try and get off the shot. Praise him until there. But if you're looking at the trajectory of the shot, how he was going, Mendy had that covered if he didn't take any deflection.
Stats.
All thanks. At the end of the day, goal is a goal. It is what it
Right.
is. City win. But at the end, you can still talk how it is because Mendy had that covered if he wasn't the deflection. Because you saw Mendy was already over there and the deflection from Rudiger, Jorginho, however it is, completely changed the trajectory of the ball and put it there.
So let me ask you more. If y'all don't score at that time, right, that goal, do you still win the game?
Yeah.
I mean, the chances were coming. The chances were coming.
Okay. Last point on this. Here perfectly, just because what Moy said, that this is what came in my mind. When I talk about the manager has a play and everything. Okay. Gabriel Jesus' back is to the goal. He's facing midfielders.
Right.
In a Pep system, a Pep type of play, you wouldn't think he would lay it off to De Bruyne, make De Bruyne straight wide. There'd be a cut back into the goal and try get a cut, get a tap in. Don't you see? That's kind of like City's play.
Gabriel made a striking play because me and Shaq had this conversation in the group where he said Cancelo was brilliant. I'm gonna backtrack a little and say, okay, yeah, the the fake shot sold it. But here is where I give Gabriel credit. I'm not going to say the goal in itself was a brilliant goal.
No, not the goal.
Cancelo
But the-
peppered that shot. And the way
Right.
Gabriel cushioned that ball,
Brilliant.
turned with it, and
Brilliant.
you have to give him some sort of credit.
That's
Right.
the individual
Yeah.
brilliance I'm
Every-
talking about.
Give him some
Right,
credit.
Monchi, and I agree. That's what I said. I
Tell
understand.
them to do that.
Right, individual, but I'm not taking. I'm saying that he was brilliant with all those things that Joe mentioned up until the shot.
Yeah.
The shot wasn't a brilliant shot, but the space he made, the space he created to make that shot possible, that's brilliant. For him to gather that ball under that pace, brilliant. In a crowded box, brilliant. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, but wait there, one last point. You know what this just shows?
So who
though?
needs game?
This just shows, right, Munchie?
They don't score if you don't shoot.
Yeah, that too. But this just shows also, right, that you really think about it, City were brilliant, but this just shows you how hard Chelsea are to break down.
Yeah.
Because
There's only one goal score.
City were really brilliant, but
They
the
were.
goal they got was from a deflection. Because like he said,
Stats,
Mendy had it covered.
stats,
That in
stats.
itself just shows you how hard they are to break down.
Yeah, but Josh, like those kind of games, you get those kind of deflections that's like the odd goal,
Yeah.
You have a very tight game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you get a deflection.
Yep.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
it.
And deflections can only come if you're taking shots on target
Exactly.
that result in defenders being in
Gotta
those
be in it
spaces.
to win it.
You gotta be, and which is credit back to Pep that says, you know what, I'm playing all my creative players, and I'm just gonna attack you. And something I forgot. And Lampard score hold on a deflection goal. No offense to the City fans there, right? But
Bernardo Silva,
he took the shots.
and the feel at the same
Look,
time.
Yeah.
Jeez.
When I watched that game on Saturday, yes, we talk about the creativity of City, but for me that was just down to hard work. Like
Yeah,
for
it was.
most of the game, most of the first half, most up until City scored and Chelsea had to come out, Chelsea couldn't even really pass in within 3 seconds. City had the ball back in their
Get the ball
possession.
back, yeah.
That's how hard they were working.
You guys know Pep deployed Bernardo Silva as a defensive midfielder next to Rodri.
It looked that way. I was saying
was
that,
a
Monchi.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
No, Shaq. No, I'm not saying what against you, but I'm just giving out that point.
Yeah, I'm agreeing
You know
with you.
why? His work rate, man. Like, come on.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
That's
it's
why I gave
brilliant.
him the man of the match. People saying
I-
Cancelo, people saying Rodri. I give Bernardo Silva, honestly.
But here I
This
have to
guy
say
winning
that
header. This guy
I know.
covering. These guys winning
did a lot.
well.
that was a tactical masterclass putting him in that position. But then it makes you wonder. We won't talk about this till Thursday, so fans, make sure you come Thursday for the preview. You play Liverpool next. The kind of ball
about
Liverpool
that
against
you
Valley.
play.
Easily.
No, listen up.
Energy.
The
Energy.
kind of, that's my point, Shaq, actually. The kind of energy you displayed against Chelsea, that's what Liverpool bring every game. That's the club style. The club style is to run, press, push you into mistakes. So, for control.
So
I mean,
Josh, let me just ask, right?
The difference is Liverpool doesn't have a Kante.
Well,
Okay, but-
it didn't stop them from winning the Champions League and the league, right? So they should be respected, and they're at the top of the league right now.
Right, Josh, let me ask you, right? Don't forget,
Mhm.
City play PSG. What date is it? Wednesday?
Ooh,
Tomorrow.
boy, that's a good point.
Tomorrow.
Alright.
That's a good point.
They
there,
play
boy.
midweek, which is a big Champions League match against PSG, and then they go up to Liverpool. But then the good thing for City though is that you have Foden, and I mean Mahrez hasn't really played many minutes in.
Sterling and them man play tomorrow.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So, I still think that they have more than enough.
This is why I've
For
had
them to
two
get
squad. This is
Yeah.
why I've had two squad.
And
Because-
my game is on
Oh,
Sunday. So I have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's 4 days.
Yeah,
to
for
recover.
recovery.
Liverpool play.
Yeah, you say that, but I mean, you just played Chelsea, high intensity for 90 minutes. They ain't gonna go and play Champions League game. I mean, you're gonna probably play the same back four, which is why it makes sense now why he didn't play the back four against Wickham, which ended up being brilliant. But the point is that that's 3 straight high-intensity games. That's going to be rough against, 2 of those teams. All 3 teams are great teams. It's going to be hard.
Early
But I
preview.
have to say for the neutral, it's going to be great.
Liverpool will get 5. Early preview.
Okay, all right. Bring it on Sister Thursday. Bring it on Sister
Jaleel
Thursday.
keeps saying this, but this really upset Jaleel.
Messi fit.
Spurs reject 150
Yeah.
plus Bernardo Silva, bro.
Plus Bernardo
Yeah,
Silva.
I know. Boy, I don't know. We have.
I saw that he was in training in Memphis. Sorry,
Messi in
Yeah, I
training.
think so too.
I saw that.
Yeah, he training with the team.
He scored yet? He didn't score yet.
No, not yet.
I mean, people only remember time when it's relevant to certain.
Joe, you're muted.
Rumor has it he was saving his goals.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This is the best game to do it. That's what
bro.
I mean, you go ahead, boy. You go ahead. Messi, come on.
The Champions League fantasy.
Everybody forgot
yeah.
Ronaldo went 7 games without scoring for Juventus. But no, Messi went to
Yeah.
the four
And
games.
after that
but
7, he
already-
scored in 12. He scored in 12 in a row.
Ooh, stat.
That's nothing for Messi. Messi holds the record for the most goals scored in a row. So like
It
that's
starts
nothing
tomorrow.
for
I'm
Messi.
hearing. It starts tomorrow. That's what I'm hearing.
Y'all,
Good
make
point,
sure
good
y'all
point, good
look
point.
because Messi, another, Diaz go put one of the goats in him in his back pocket. So
Oh,
one out
boy.
of 2 depending until he reach you.
Boy, he not no farmer dog. He can't put no goat in pocket.
I think it's
I mean,
true.
right now, Messi is the farmer now.
I'm gonna put
Stop
the goat.
that, boy.
But it would be great though. I don't know if you start. I don't think he might start, but I don't think he'd start.
It is gonna
But-
hit.
But it's going to be fun watching that, especially if Messi come on second half and just give you a solid 20 minutes of just greatness.
Yeah, the man got some good comments. Yeah, the man talk about
Yeah.
crap over.
You City down, and then you see the notice board. You see the board come up and Messi come on.
Oh, man.
Talking
Yo,
about crap and
especially PSG up.
Pep versus Pep.
Yep.
Oh,
We see
Yeah,
how
people
they
so-
say,
Let that one for
City down,
Thursday.
oh, the man should probably duke it out. O'Neal and Jaleel, what you say? Klopp versus Pep. Is that O'Neal and Jaleel?
Jaleel said that. I think O'Neal is agreeing.
Oh, Klopp ain't never going to be better than Pep.
Hmm.
Okay, he agrees. Yeah. And then
I'm-
you again.
I'm
it's
pretty
not
sure
better
maybe
than Pep.
Quincy disagree.
Probably.
Yeah, he just
probably.
been a delusional fan.
He says, well,
Oh, you know what, guys? Okay, it's late. I'll leave it for Thursday.
I don't like
I'll leave it
suspense.
for Thursday.
Tell me what it is so I can play.
It's about Salah. I'll leave it for Thursday.
Yeah, he's the best
Yeah.
thing in the league and discussion.
Anyways, guys, I gotta run, right?
yeah, we all gotta
Gotta
run.
run.
So
Yeah,
we're
we're coming off now, man.
coming up now. So just good night, everybody. Thank you guys so much for all your great commentary. It's been really, really good. And we touched on some things I didn't expect to touch on. Make sure you're here for Thursday so that we can talk some more and preview some really good games coming up this weekend. Especially, of course, the major clash between City and Liverpool. We're looking forward to that. So we're going to talk about that. Please don't forget to share this video, like it as well, and tell others, family, friends, anybody you know who watch football to subscribe. Thanks again, fellas. Thanks so much for all you did tonight, giving us the time and doing what you do best. Have a great evening, everybody.
Aston Villa.
Thank you for watching Island Fans. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you'll know when there are new videos and updates. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and like us on Facebook. Island Fans, for the passion of the game.